At the end of report number 7, a small group of mountain goats rested after fleeing from a group of backcountry skiers. Following that day, clouds blocked our view of the mountain for a week. When the clouds lifted, we could see that all the members of the herd were right back where they started, safe and sound. During that cloudy week, over 40 centimeters of new snow fell in the alpine. Meanwhile, the 2 mature billies and the 3-year-old billy were on very steep terrain. This billy is crossing an avalanche track. The risk of an avalanche is high with the recent snowfall combined with a weak layer deep in the snowpack, but we have not observed any substantial avalanches to date. Let's watch this billy cross a hollow filled with loose wind-blown snow. March and April are the most difficult times of year for the mountain goats. Storms continue to dump snow, and mountain goats are depleting fat stores accumulated the previous fall. Mountain goats can lose over 25% of their body weight over the winter. Finally, the billy finds some rock to stand on. Another billy shows that even flat ground can be an ordeal. With all the new snow, it's a lot of work to paw down to the ground for forage. So the goats turn to feed that is easy to reach, such as subalpine fir needles and arboreal lichens. This billy crosses a small avalanche chute to reach more fir needles. This goat stands to reach arboreal lichens. Arboreal lichens grow on trunks and branches of trees. Lichens are a source of carbohydrates and may aid in digestion. March 15 is an important time of the year. That's when the sun and the wind combine to melt and harden the snow to form a crust. Mountain goats can finally walk on top of the snow in spots. Rock slopes heat up in the strong sunlight. The snow is much firmer now in the trees. This juvenile has an easy time moving quickly down the slope. One kid in the herd has more brown coloration than normal. We now have a trio we call the brown trio, made up of a nanny, the brown kid, and a juvenile from a previous year. The nanny and juvenile are at the bottom of your screen. The brown kid is top right. We also have a white trio. The nanny, her new kid, and her juvenile from the year before are all the same white color. Here's the nanny and the kid of the white trio. The two trios usually stay apart. Seems that there's a struggle between the two nannies for dominance, so they simply avoid each other. Any new kids this year will be born at the end of May. This is the time of year when we come up with our best estimate of the mountain goat population on McKendrick Mountain. 2 new kids were born June of 2022, but 1 goat of unknown age disappeared within the last year. So we end up with 9 goats this year compared to 8 last year. With the voluntary recreation closure, the goats are free to use the entire mountain. The goats have easy access to the high-quality forage on the summit meadows without being disturbed. With no snowmobiles, hikers, and skiers, the goats suffer less stress from random disturbances. Snowmobiles are no longer sintering the snow on the summit ridge, making it difficult for mountain goats to paw down to forage. Finally, the herd is more isolated from wolves. With no snowmobile or ski tracks to walk on, wolves are less likely to travel upslope through the deep, soft snow between the valley bottom and alpine in order to prey on the goats.